On this episode of On the Daily, you are going to get to hear from my friend Amber, who is the host of the Behind Her Boom podcast. She is the CEO and founder of the AK Social House, which is like, I think, completely revolutionizing the way that network marketers and influencers can run their business, but also treat their business more like a business. And so in this conversation, we're just going to talk all about ways that we can do that. We're going to really dive into just, I think, better ways that network marketers can really lean into their business and maximize results. So if you are a network marketer, if you are in digital marketing, if you're an affiliate marketer, if you're an influencer, this is your episode, and I'm so excited for you to hear it. Hey friend, welcome to On the Daily. I'm your host, Danielle McCleary, and I am a quantum business coach. I'm the host of this podcast. I'm a multi-six-figure entrepreneur, co-founder and president of Hype You Media, and CEO of Danielle on the Daily Coaching. What I'm really interested in is helping you live a life and have a business that is a full body yes. So through all of my education and all of my experience, I'm bringing you 2 episodes a week where I will guide you and give you the tools necessary to scale a massive, sustainable, and sexy business using your intuition, wealth energetics, and human design. What we can call it is business biohacking. So if you're down for that, then I say let's frickin' go. I'm so glad you're here. Amber Alrifai is on the podcast today. Hi, friend. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Danielle. You even pronounced my last name probably better than I do.
I mean, that's literally because I asked right before. I was like, wait, but you know what? I have butchered so many names, and like people will butcher my last name. Like they'll butcher McCleary, like McClary, and they'll say different things. And so I always just ask. I don't know why we get so weird about that. People get weird about like asking, but I'm like, it's better than fucking it up.
Making it all up. I'm making it all sound weird. So Amber Alrifai in the house.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I'm so happy you're here. I know so for those of you listening, I was on the Behind Her Boom podcast a few months ago now, and we've been meaning to get Amber back on the show, which, you know, timing's everything. And this month is actually like my interview month. So it's like a month full of like interviews with really awesome people. So timing is perfect.
Perfect. It's absolute pleasure to be on your show, Danielle. I feel like when we first chatted a couple of months ago on mine, we talked about, prepping questions and getting things ready. And we just went with the flow. And I feel like it could have been like a whole day. I'm like, we should just have a weekly episode. There was just so much goodies in here to talk about. So I'm really excited to be on your show and really just tap into, you mentioned about network marketers and in that space and systemizing and things like that. I know that you work with a lot of them as well. So I'm ready to dive in. Yeah.
Well, and you and I both, I mean, you started in network marketing as well, right? Like you had a network marketing business. I had a network marketing business. So like, y'all, this is not just 2 women who are like, ooh, there's an industry we can capitalize on. Like this is 2 women who are literally like, this is the world we came from. And I think we both have so much love and so much respect and so much admiration for that industry. And we can be doing it better.
We can all be doing it better. Absolutely. I think a lot of people struggle with friends and family, and then they just kind of run dry. I ran out of my friends and family. Where do I go next? And you see literally, I would say 80 to 90% network marketers fail before they've even given it a shot to get out there and tap into cold market and things like that. So I'm really excited where we've come from. I know you've been in the industry before, and me being in that network marketing space is actually where all of this is sort of derived, and my business has been created from, because I had actually joined Monate back when it had launched into Canada. I mean, that's 6-7 years ago. But I joined under my sister, and I watched her grow and, get the car and get some big checks. And I was like, wow, that's actually possible. You actually get the cars and the checks and all that. But I quickly realized I had no network because I wasn't on Instagram, wasn't really on social media back then. And she had really tapped in to those family, friends, networks. So it's like, where do I go from here? Luckily, myself, my husband, he's an engineer by day, and he's, I call him a little nerd, but I mean, he's a great nerd because he just really tapped into the marketing and understanding and taking courses and just mastering, Facebook and ads and how can you tap into different areas. And we just got really lucky with the fact that at that pivotal moment of the company I was working with, they were launching into different countries. And as they launched into the United Kingdom, he said, you know what? We can create this system that will allow you to get into, to their Facebook groups and to their Instagram. And how can we talk to them? Because at that point, 6-7 years ago, people didn't really talk about driving traffic into certain ways. They were like, I'm going to hop on a plane, I'm going to go hit up UK, and I'm going to go meet up people and have a coffee shop, do like a wine and wash. And that's how we thought networking was, right? And lo and behold, we created this system that allowed us to bring in new people, kind of funnel them through. And that was 1 month there. I think it was 16 or 17 market partners I brought in that month. And I thought, holy shit, we have something. But now I was like, we have something bigger, because how many other network marketers are in the same feeling, the same, like, I have no network. So that's where it all sort of started. And then, we worked myself up to, multiple six figures in my network marketing space. We had my sister hit 7 figures in her space. I mean, she's retired her husband, and she's, just full force, one of the directors with the company. But I came into this pivotal moment of my business where it was like, AK Social House and serving and helping network marketers, or am I going to be the network marketer? And I just felt like I couldn't do both, because it almost felt weird. Like, you're hopping on calls and you're talking about what it is that you can do, but then you're also doing it too. And I just also feel like there's an energy balance there of like, pick one and go full force. So it was a pivotal moment, because I lost my founder shares. I gave it all up. I lost a car. There's a lot of just residual stuff coming in, right? But it just felt like this big weight lifted off when I did that. I made that choice, because since then we've just literally exploded on AK Social side and helping network marketers. I mean, from every single company, Bellamy, Q Sciences, it doesn't matter. And we work with some of the top influencers and income earners, and just helping them grow and scale and build their brand. It's been an incredible journey that we're still riding.
Yeah. And that's so impressive. And I love that you said, like, it's so cool to hear you talk about how you implemented that into your network marketing business, because I was the person who had a huge network. Like, I was a fitness professional. So I had so many people who were already into health and wellness. And so it was kind of this perfect marriage when I started, but my entire business was built through my social media and like people that knew me. And I didn't know anything about running ads. I didn't know anything about funnels. I didn't know anything about automation. I was literally just like heels to the pavement, grind as hard as I could, put us through as many orders as I could. And like, sure, did I promote like in record time? Yeah, of course I did, because I had people who were already into health and wellness, who were already wanting to eat better. And like, they're going to SoulCycle 95 times a week, but then their nutrition isn't where it needs to be. So like, obviously I'm going to talk about a nutrition program. They already trust me. They take my class every week. Of course they're going to buy my products. Like, it was a no brainer. And I mean, thank goodness my mentor really saw that in me, because like, yeah, it did change my life. And I learned so much in the network marketing space about leadership, about speaking in front of people, about, how to manage a team and all these things. But the one thing I didn't learn was like true business skills and business skills from a CEO perspective of like, how do we maximize our results by doing less? And that came to a head because after I promoted to the top, I burnt out, and I burnt out so hard. And I remember we were sitting, my fiance at the time and I were like sitting in our new house that was like in the middle of Highland Park, LA, that we like loved this neighborhood. This house was like more than I ever imagined I could ever afford. And we have everything we need. I have the car, I have the money, I have the house. And I literally was like sitting there on the couch. I think it was like Christmas Eve. And I was just so full of anxiety. I was so full of stress. My dad had died a year ago. And I literally thought to myself, if this is what success is, like, I don't fucking want it. Like, I want none of this. And so I considered burning everything to the ground. Thank goodness I didn't. I decided like, okay, well, I'm going to actually like learn how to apply some of these things into another business. And at this time I was kind of coaching people on the side, and people from outside of the network marketing space were coming to me and asking me to like coach them on business. And so then, similar to you, I built up Danielle on the daily, and that coaching business, it was kind of that moment of like, do I continue to be the network marketer, or do I kind of go off on this other path and help people on a bigger scale? And ultimately, obviously that's what I did. But since then, like, my whole business now runs on automation. Like, my whole business runs on funnels. My whole business runs on automations. My whole business runs on how, like, my goal used to be like, how do I do the most? And like, my goal literally now, like, every day I ask myself, am I doing the least? Because if I'm not doing the least, I'm not interested. Like,
yeah. Yeah. Isn't
It's
that
not.
crazy? I mean, you mentioned about how, you almost burnt your business to the ground, but you didn't.
Mhm.
At some points, I actually feel that you almost need to burn your business to the ground, or you
Yep.
almost need to get to the lowest of low
Oh
before
yeah.
you get to the pivotal moment to say like, yeah, I need to change something. And
Mhm.
even in my business now with AK Social House, it's grown so much that just last year we grew a media division. And it was like all of a sudden overnight, we're launching podcasts in Orange County. We're working with influencers. We've been working with Ed Milet, Dan
Mhm.
Martell, like some big names that we're dropping, but it's like it just happened overnight. And all of a sudden we've got, 3 full-time video editors that are like in my house, working in here because like this is like our space. So it's
Yeah.
been a bit show, right? And then we think, oh, is this where we're going? Is this where we're heading? But yeah, it is where we're headed. We're a service-based provider. So it's not, we don't have courses and programs to like turn it on. And so as a service-based provider, it's this whole other area of you're growing and you're scaling, but I just need to bring in more and more people. We call it a busy list. I got this busy list of 1,000,001 things that I'm trying to constantly eliminate. How can I pass on? So now I just hired a second full-time assistant and social media manager because my first one, she's maxed out. I'm like, she's maxed out of things. What I need another
Mhm.
one. And that's how you grow and scale. But I think network marketers, they need to get out of that side hustle mindset and
Mhm.
that side hustle mentality of it's just a side hustle. I'll just do as I can. And if you treat it like a business, you'll get into this point where you're like, there's so many tasks like reach outs and sending out samples and all these little things. Those are administrative things in your business that you really shouldn't be doing. You know,
Mm-mm.
you can hire somebody and then you might say, well, that's great for you. You can hire a full-time assistant. Maybe your income is not providing you enough to be able to do that. But there's virtual EAs out there. I mean, you can literally be paying a very minimal cost that you'll say, is it
Mhm.
worth your time? Because to me, sometimes hiring a nanny to help with my kids, it's my time is more valuable for the things that I can do versus them sitting on the couch watching TV. I know they can go and be playing and
Mhm.
doing things.
Mhm.
So I think
My
there's a
peace will
balance.
always be the priority. Like I always say that, like, I don't care how much it costs. Like we have like a housekeeper that used to come once a month and twice a month. And now she's here every single week and she does our laundry and she does all these things. And, there's like a part of like my wife was like, we don't need that. Like I can do it. And I'm like, no, but that's not where your genius lies. Your genius does not lie in making sure the laundry is done. So let's hire someone and actually employ someone who's building her own business. And now she's making a lot more money from us. And like, we're helping her grow her business, but we're also then able to put our genius somewhere else. And I don't even think it's like, I like how you said that it's network marketers that are putting, like they don't see it as a full business. I actually think too, but that stems from the leaders at the top who have made it their full business, but still will not get out of their ego of like, the entire business does not have to rise and fall on whether they are physically in the room. And so many top leaders, and I was one of them that was like, no, if I'm not doing it, then it's going to fall. And it's like this constant anxiety of, and obviously I'm an energy person. So like, it's this constant anxiety of I'm not doing enough. Am I doing more? Can I do more? How can I be more available? How can I be more present? And the best thing I ever did energetically in business was release the need to be needed. Like, I don't need to be needed. In fact, if there is somebody I can hire who can do something, they probably can do it better than I can. And when you can admit that people can do things better than you, that's the CEO. That's a CEO.
Yeah.
That's a CEO. That takes you from I'm a solopreneur who, but I think it also, I mean, I don't know. We could probably go into this for hours, but I think it probably is also this, it is the need to be needed, right? Like the idea of releasing things that would mean healing a part of them that maybe isn't ready to heal. But I think there are so many network marketers and the industry could grow so much because there is no other industry better positioned for the work that you do and that I've learned to do than network marketing. Like there's no other industry that's better positioned to implement a lot of this stuff, right?
It's so simple, so effective. When I go through and look at people's social media, I look at like their link in their bio, where it's taken them. There's just so much opportunity there of things to be automated, of things to just be taken up to a whole nother level. And I just look at so many women, I'm like, shit, girl, you've got so much potential. You just like don't even know. There's just it's there. And then, but They don't know, they haven't been given the tools, and a lot of them will rely either on their upline, or if they're not getting it from their upline, they'll rely on like the back office. Oh, my back office has the great tools that I need to succeed. I'm just like, I just feel like bullets to my head when they say about my back office, because I even remember it for myself when I was in network marketing. I don't even think I even looked at my back office except for to pull emails, just to take my contact list from. I mean, the back office is fantastic in your first 30 days to say, here's how the comp plan works. Here's some product knowledge if you don't know it, but that's not going to help you to build your business and to systemize things and to help you bring on new prospects and have those conversations and, automate your orders and how, the whole product.
It's not a lead gen. It's not a lead generation.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Like at all. So what would you say are like the top, because you made me think, I remember like before I knew any of this, like when I was really building a business, we had like healthy living groups on Facebook or like we had like a healthy living page. And the instruction was add people to this page so they can get information. Never did we collect an email. Never did we connect. Like it was literally just put them on this page. And now I look back at that. I'm like, I would rather eat glass than put someone on a Facebook page without collecting their email first. Like you have got to be kidding me. And I mean, even now, like I have a free Facebook community, but guess how they get there? Through a landing page opt-in where they have to give me name and email. Like that's how they get access to that page. It's not just like, let me throw you on my page. Like, so I want to know from like your expertise, because well, first of all, AK Social House, tell me like the stuff you guys do. Like what are the biggest things you guys do for network marketers?
So we have built what's called the hybrid system. And the hybrid system is really simple. It's a fully branded website. So you have your branded website, so you're not sending traffic to your MLM website that it can't be tracked. You can't follow up with them. You don't know if they've actually looked to purchase products or join your business. They're gone and they've disappeared forever. So we don't want to send them there, but we integrate it with your own website. So if they click on purchase or join now, it'll always take them back to your MLM website, but there's opportunity on the actual website for them to drop their email. So we integrate it also with a series of email sequences. So you'll get all these different pop-ups. That's why we call it hybrid. There'll be a pop-up with a lead magnet, like a freebie, download my free guide, 5 reasons why everybody needs a side hustle, or download my 3 tips, to getting the best hair in 5 minutes. These are just little free, simple things that we want to give people that if they X'd out on the first pop-up to say, join my community, subscribe here, and they didn't drop their email, we want to give them at least 2 or 3 more opportunities to drop that email again. So lead magnet, down in the footer, we'll have another subscribe now option there as well, book a call with me. So we'll do a branded website, email marketing. The emails are not these like boss babe type of like, come join my team. It's educational and value type emails. We take them through a slew of, here's my bio, here's who I am. Did you remember me? I'm a mom, I'm real. This is me. I'm not a robot. I'm not a chat bot. So there's an email about that. Then we start educating them on the product side of things. What makes this product so different? Why are you shopping here and not Sephora? So we want to educate them a little bit about the products. And then the next slew of emails is to educate them on the business side. Did you know you didn't have to be an artist to become, a guru in makeup? Did you know you didn't have to go to hair school to be a master in, shampoo and whatnot? So we want to educate them on those. At the end of the day, fortune is in the follow-up, right? And if you're not following up with people, it's missed opportunity everywhere. But if you can't get a freaking email, how in the heck do you follow up with somebody? So it's website
by texting them and asking them, hey, did you have a chance to look at that website?
I know I have a thing with the text, and I actually get a lot of clients who are like, well, I have this text service. Can we integrate it? And we can integrate pretty much everything. You've got Flowdesk, you've got a great automation already. We can integrate it. We want to give people a place to go to stop the scroll, get them off of this 15-second reels and find out who the hell you actually are. We want to show that you're authority. We want to talk to your avatar. We want to show that you take your business seriously, that you're not just the face behind a product, but that you are somebody that is a true entrepreneur. And this is one of the vehicles that's taking you to success. And then
Project Broadcast, right? Sorry to cut you off. Like that's the one that everyone says, oh, I use Project Broadcast. I'm like, yeah, but you can't track who's opening that. You can't track any of that. So sure, add them to Project Broadcast after you've added them to your email list.
They work really well together. So if you're using them together, but it's not vice versa. Like you don't just, you could do the all email, but if you love the texting service and the value that's giving, you use them together. You make sure that you're getting their email and you're popping them in here so that you can follow up with them. Now, can also build like a separate page. It's kind of like a little hidden webinar or a little hidden funnel on that page. So if you go to the website, you won't actually see it, but it'll have its own domain that they can click on. And we can offer there for you guys to do some sort of free training, like, get access to my free webinar, 20 minutes. I'm going to teach you 5 simple steps. A lot of network marketers are using this tactic to drop in, provide value to show I'm not just somebody selling shampoo or selling a product, but I actually have this value to give, and I'm a mentor, and I'm 6 figures or whatever that is to you. And I have all these tactics to grow your social media and to build your influence. If you want to work with me, click the link below and get free access. All you got to do is, pay $99, you get some product. It's their simple kind of sneaky way of saying, come join my team, but without saying, come join my team. So we kind of hide that on the back end. They can create either a masterclass or a little webinar in the back. Just another way to drive traffic.
Puts them into a funnel.
Yeah, puts them into a funnel. I mean, AQ Social House has 7 Commerce Club award winners that build incredible funnels that we do. So we have that, on the side. The websites and email marketing is our hybrid system, and it's priced at a price point for network marketers, because we do know websites can be thousands and thousands of dollars, and most network marketers don't have that to invest in their business. So we come up with a really condensed version of that. We even have one called the social selling funnel. It's literally a little landing page, but it's a fraction of the cost of what you would invest. It's the fraction of the cost of what I've invested in, to build out specific funnels for our business and things like that. So we have different tiers based on really if you're brand spanking new in network marketing, or you're a leader and you're looking to, we have a lot that, they have a podcast, they have a YouTube channel, they're affiliates. They also have their network marketing company, and then they want to do X, Y, and Z. So to me, that's a full brand that you need to be able to showcase. Don't showcase it on a milkshake link of, click here, click there, take my quiz, take my form, drop. There's just so many, grab my $10 coupon off. It's all these little links. It's like a little flyer. It's like I'm going to the Walmart flyer and trying to pick out what I want. Click on a link and understand who, Amber Alrifai is. And now you get to see that the network marketing, and it's educating them on everything. So,
yeah. I mean, I just, like you say that it's priced for network marketers. That's so invaluable. I think I just paid in the last 3 months, 4 months, whatever it was. I think I paid $20,000 to implement a whole new funnel into my business. And that funnel is going to bring in 5 times that at least, of course it's going to bring in that, but I mean, it was a whole quiz funnel, it's a business growth quiz, and you take the quiz and you get put into a certain outcome, and that outcome leads you to an email funnel. But all of that's now automated, and I'm not doing that. And so it's selling my signature programs on the back end. And I will say this to network marketers, and but I do network, I'm a network marketer. So it's different. I'm no, actually you are the one who should be, you should have done this already. The network marketing industry should have led this charge. The fact that business coaches and these service providers are the ones actually leading the charge, it should have never been like that. It actually should have been the network marketers that led this charge from the get, but they didn't. What would you say, the top 3 things, if I'm a network marketer who's listening to this and just so triggered right now in the best ways, because I know you're out there. I know it. You're sitting there going, oh gosh, how do I do this? This feels overwhelming. Yeah. What would you say are the top 3 things that a network marketer should be automating or implementing into their business today?
So they need to have an email list. If you don't have an email list, that's your number one before anything. How do you build it? It's through a lead magnet. If you don't have the budget, or you don't want to invest in fully branding yourself, you still need to have some sort of lead magnet. It can be a freebie. You can literally go on Canva and create some sort of free guide, and create a PDF document and drop that in your link in bio. That could be the most simple, effective, cost-effective way, because it's free and you can do it yourself. But you do need to have a way to create your email list. Now, you do need to have a series of automated emails. You can't just give them one email and there you go. So it requires building something out. And I think this is where a lot of network marketers feel they don't have the expertise to do, but they're not even thinking, should I be investing in that if I don't have, the expertise to do it? Is my upline doing it? Is my silent? Is it duplicatable? It's another question I get all the time. and I'm just well, I'll go back to that. Well, maybe we'll tap back into the duplicatable, but I want to answer on the top 3 things. 1, they need to be building their email list. So through some sort of lead magnet. 2, you are the face. You're not selling the product, you're selling yourself. And the way to do that is to put yourself out there and be the brand. So yes, your product is fantastic, but build the like, know, and trust by building your own brand, and let that be the place to serve you the most. And I think number 3 is to be authentic. Don't be cheesy. Don't try to be somebody that you're not, but you also don't need to reinvent the wheel. Find somebody in your space that is doing it and doing it well, and make it your own. Go and watch your upline or whoever's doing a fantastic reels talking about the product. Write down the notes, practice it in the mirror, and go and do it yourself. You don't need to reinvent the wheel and make it overwhelming. So those would be my 3.
Yeah. I mean, such good advice. The email list is, I mean, going back to like, for everybody out there who's putting people onto a freaking Facebook page and not collecting emails, or getting somebody's number to put them into Project Broadcast without getting their emails, you are missing an opportunity. And like, that's the thing too, is everybody thinks it's like so complicated to write out an email sequence. You know how, so, okay, here's a couple tips that I have for like writing a good email sequence. So wherever you're going to do your email marketing, I do mine on ConvertKit. People use Flowdesk, people use MailChimp, there's so many different email marketing services out there. Pick one. They all have a free version. Pick one. And like, if you're trying to build out a 6 email funnel that basically 1 to introduce you, 1 to share what you're all about, 2, like another 1 to maybe give another freebie. If you do have a podcast, drop an episode, drop another freebie for them. 5th one that introduces the product, a 6th one to introduce the product again, or the business opportunity. Like, there you go. It's 6 emails. Right. And if you need copy for that, go to your Instagram. Look at your captions over the last 6 months. I guarantee you there is a caption that you can repurpose and use as an email if you just change a few words. And like, there it is. It's done. And now every single person who enters your email list is going to get that same funnel with links to whatever it is that you are selling. And you will not have to do anything except for continue to talk about, this lead magnet, or to continue to show up on social media in your most authentic self to make people go, I want to click whatever this person is selling. Yeah. Like, it's so easy. And honestly, like, that's how you take away this like incessant need to be online all the time, or this incessant need to be checking your phone, or this incessant need to be plugging into a team call every week. Like, come on. Like, we don't need to be doing that anymore.
I hear it so much. And even from the leaders, because I think they're just so plugged into that. And that's what they've been doing for the last, 3, 5, 6 years, that
it's fear.
Yeah. And they haven't really looked another way. So hopping on my Zoom calls, hopping on my training, I'm just thinking to myself, you have the same group that's been in that training for the last like 3 years. Like, it's the same people, with a couple of new, what more are you learning? It's the sales training, it's product knowledge training. I just feel like that time could be well spent on condensing it and giving them an opportunity to just be able to systemize one thing. I mean, that could be a call. Let's hop on a call today and let's figure out our email sequencing. And you guys can all have, a very similar version of email sequences. And you guys spend that time in your Zoom call together on a team of, logging into whatever MailChimp, GetResponse, whatever that is, and creating your email sequence. And you've got a system in place versus just getting it on another call, learning about something that you probably learned about last week or the week prior, and it just starts to get repetitive.
Right. So, and then it's like, how many times can you say do the do? Like, how many times can you say that before you go?
That was the network marketing. Do the do.
Who wants to? I don't want to do the do anymore. The do, like, I remember there was a moment.
It's fucking exhausting, honestly.
The do is fucking exhausting. I remember when I was like really like kind of pivoting. I remember going, for the last few years, I've been following leaders that literally have. And like, nothing against them, like, everybody's journey is their own, but like, we live in an age where people are making like multiple 6 figures a month online, And I used to look at like, the average earnings is like $20,000 a month. Like, I used to look at that like that was everything. And then I would look at some of these leaders who, like, it took them 12 years, 15 years, 16 years to get to that point. And I'm like, there is no way. And sure, it was a different time 16 years ago. But y'all, this is 2023. We're almost in 2024. You know, there are people who are literally buying a course on the internet, not even taking that course and reselling it for full profit on the internet. And we're going to complain about building an email list? Like, no, like if you don't want to get left behind, you have to start implementing some of these things into your business. And, you know, the idea that it takes the personal out of it, it's not duplicatable. Like it's bullshit. It's bullshit. And it's stemming from fear based on an old system that doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, 100% they've done. I never realized until I got into the business that I'm in now of just how simple it is to really make insane amounts of dollar figures in a month by implementing some sort of funnel, some sort of system, and the things that people will actually buy. You know, like you said, I mean, they'll buy a course. Some of them will buy a course and then not even take it. I've had people come through and have a call and get a full system, and then they don't even have a discovery call to complete it. You know, and then we're reaching out of like, hey, we're over here, we're going to finish it up, and they're just so busy. You know, there's money left to be on the table, but if you're open to learning and stepping out of that network marketing space that has been so driven for the last not even 10, 15, but 20, 30, the house party, get out of the house party mindset, because I'm still talking to people today and they're just like, yeah, I'm going to an event, I'm hosting an event, and my sister's still hosting events. I'm like, I'm hosting an event for at your house. I'm like, who has time for that shit anymore? But they're still doing it. They're still hosting the events. And
well, and I don't think that's a bad thing. Like I don't like hosting events. Like I like hosting
my business online, like right here.
Right. Right. And like I do an event in my house I do the expand weekend. Like I'll host retreats. Like I like doing that kind of stuff, but it comes from a different energy. Like I like doing those things because I'm craving human connection. So like you want to host an event. You want to like do it. Like I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think that like it's another tool, but if that is the sole way you are trying to build a business in 2023, you are either building a business out of fear, you're building a business from scarcity, or you're just like not a business. You're not thinking in terms of business, because with the way that information is passed online these days, there's just no reason to not be implementing some of these things. And it's like, okay, like you said, you don't have thousands of dollars to invest. Well, great. Everybody can build an email list. You build an email list with a sequence and a lead gen, like a lead magnet, you know, and everyone gets confused. Like, oh, what's a lead gen, lead magnet, freebie, same thing. Like, they're interchangeable words. So you create a freebie that leads to an email sequence that gets people on your email list and starts to sell things for you. Well, guess what? You're going to make more money. And the more money you make, the more systems you can implement. So then maybe you go to AK Social House and you have them build you out a website. You have them build you out all these things. Well, guess what? The more the more that you implement, the more money you have the opportunity to make.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now you're hiring assistants. Now you're hiring video editors. Now you're hiring, like I just hired a business manager. Like you're hiring all these things because it's like you implemented systems that led to more money passively. So you didn't have to do more to make that money. You just implemented better systems.
And I think it's also a smart sort of concept to think, if you invest in if you're investing in your business, like if let's say I'm making $1,000 a month in my network marketing business, so I'm taking that and I'm going to use it to pay, you know, the kids at schools or their sports or whatnot. Instead, if you tell yourself, you know what, for the next 12 months, whatever I make in my network marketing company, I'm going to use it to just reinvest in myself, reinvest in yourself to take a course, reinvest in yourself to better your mindset. Because I also feel like systems and all that is great. But then if you're stuck up here and you're just constantly in fear of, you know, getting out there, talking to people, some people think they can set up a system and it's just going to do everything for them and they can just sit back and relax and call it a day. That's also completely wrong as well, because you need to be fueling that system, you know, fueling it with your energy and talking about it and promoting it and, you know, and putting yourself out there. So I think if you even, you know, put yourself in that sort of budget to say, whatever I make, I'm just going to reinvest it into myself. I'm going to build up my lead gen. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. It will take your business 10x versus sitting back and just using that incorporate into your budget. Because I always say at the end of the day, If you didn't make that $500 with your network marketing company, were you going to take your kid out of soccer? Probably not. You're going to throw it on a credit card. It was going to get paid for anyway. So we don't need to say, I just rely on my network marketing, budget to pay the groceries, because the groceries you're going to eat anyways. Use it to invest in yourself and use it to invest in your business. Now see where you go in 3-5 years from now in your business. It sure as hell is not going to be where it is today if you're making these little micro moves.
Right. Also, you know what's not a tax write-off? Paying for your kids' soccer. You know what is a tax write-off? Reinvesting into a website.
Oh, absolutely. Bam.
Like we could have a whole other conversation about taxes, but like
Yeah,
I'll be damned if the money my business pays me is going to go towards like anything that's not tax write-off. Like anything 100%. My business pays me is being reinvested right back into the business because that is a tax write-off.
I just invested in this easier accounting. Actually, I have like a link to them and everything because they're incredible, because they're accountants that work specifically with business owners. Mm-hmm. And the last accountant that I had, I just felt like he wasn't telling me like, hey, did you know, like you can buy a G-Wagon and you can actually cut that payment.
It's not even a G-Wagon anymore. Like I just bought a GLE 53, the AMG Turbo. It's over 6,000 pounds. So it counts.
So it counts. See, that blew my mind because I was like, oh, that's what I was getting when I hit 40, and I turned 40 last month. So I'm just like going through that process of like, that's my ride. And then my accountant's like, did you know that's also a complete tax write-off? And if you don't need the money all in this year, you can break it up into like 3 installments and you can claim like, 20, 30 grand this year, 20. I'm like, what? I was like, I'm like losing money by not driving the G-Wagon right now from a tax perspective. So
100%.
I'm all about what else can I do to claim money? And the thing is with your kids, if you want to claim them on your business and your network marketing business, there's ways around it if they're helping you market the business.
My kid has been on my payroll since he was born.
Exactly.
Owen gets paid $12,000 a year. That money goes right into a Roth IRA. I match that from my company. Owen's going to be a millionaire by the time he's 18.
That's what I'm saying. I forget who it was, but I seen some girl in a Reels on stage, and that's exactly what she had said. And it was, I think, early last year. And we had moved like from Canada to the US. So I was like, what the hell's a Roth? And then when I was like, what, you can 12 that. So we did exactly that. And it blew my mind. I'm just like, kids make more money than we do,
I know. And like oh, okay. So and that's the other thing, like this is probably like so off topic, but one of the things I really love helping network marketers do is like actually like incorporate their business. And I'm like, listen, you should be an LLC or an S Corp. I say go S Corp because you have better tax benefits, especially if you're in California, but create an S Corp. And now like you need to fly to Alabama for an event. Well, guess what? That flight, everything about that trip is a tax write-off. Oh, you're going on a work incentive. You earned a work incentive that you have to pay for the flights to the Bahamas. Well, guess what? Those flights, they're a tax write-off. Oh, you're just going to London because you want to. Well, is your company in London? Great. Talk to a few people while you're there. Set up a lead gen. Let your business work while you're in London. Guess what? That entire trip is now a business write-off.
So smart, but how many people are not doing that?
Most.
You can incorporate your network marketing business. If you will get anything from this call today, it's that,
incorporate and automate your network marketing business yesterday.
That should be a course.
I know, incorporate and automate. We should honestly do like a whole podcast series on incorporate and automate.
I love it.
So, okay, this has been super helpful. I know that everybody is like, how do I work with this in this way? And obviously like my listeners know that I have courses on this, but you have an entire business dedicated to this alone. So tell us how we can work with AK Social House and the best ways to go about that.
Absolutely. And thank you, Danielle, for letting me even share that with your listeners. Anybody that wants to drop an email over, we will send you guys 30 days of free content. It's been created specifically for network marketers. And it used to be what our tiny offer, $27 a month, get access to our tiny offer. That was one of our first funnels that we built out that actually brought in people to get on a demo call with us. And now we use it as an incentive. We don't charge for it. So if you drop your email, we can give you full access. And it was created created specifically for network marketers. You get a caption style piece of content every day at 6 a.m. Also in there, you get Reels ideas and hashtags that are within your avatar. So you get access to all those kinds of things. That's sort of a little freebie if you drop your email. You can go to AK Social House on Instagram. That is our main Instagram page for the business. And you can book a free demo. It'll be with myself or one of our strategists. And it's 30, 40 minutes. It's not a sales call. It's completely free. We'll walk you through the process. We'll share a screen with you. And we'll show you exactly what it is that we do. And we'll show you some of the systems that we built for some of the top income earners in the industry, how we've taken them from 6 figures to 7 figures, how we've allowed them to scale and build a diversified team from the UK, New Zealand, even creating the system in multiple languages. They're opening into France. Great. We're going to make your system in French. They're opening into Spain. Great. Now your system's in Spanish. There's no limitation to what we can do and what we can offer. But all you need to do is hop on a call. It's completely free. But if you do that, make sure that you let us know that you came from the podcast, just so that we know that they're coming from Danielle on the daily. And we can send her a big thank you her way too.
Well, thank you. And I also love this, how you said like all you have to do is drop your email, because I assume they're going to drop their email. They're going to get this free content. They're going to be put into your funnel. Yes?
Absolutely.
So this is a really good opportunity for you to see like how this kind of what we've been talking about for the last 45 minutes, what this actually can look like in practice. You're going to get emails from her team every day, or however frequently they send out emails. You're going to get to see like, and she's not actually sending those. Like those are all automated funnels. And like, you're going to see how personal it still feels. And that's like actually my favorite thing ever, is to kind of like pull back the veil and be like, listen, every time you come into my world, you get put on my email list. Every Tuesday, you receive an email about my podcast. Every Sunday, you receive like a weekly update email. We put you into marketing funnels. Like all of these things, all you have to do is check your email. I sometimes will put myself on email lists of other coaches and businesses that I respect, so that I can get a good idea of like what it looks like to be in their funnel. And, ooh, what are they doing that I'm not? Like I bought a program recently from Andrea Crowder, a business coach online. And I bought a program from her, and the first email she sends, it says, make sure you add this email to your contact list so that it doesn't go to junk. And I was like, why haven't I done that?
And yeah, I've got one of those before too. And it's so smart, because a lot of your email sequences will go to junk or spam or promo, and then they just get stuck there. That should always be in the very first email.
Yeah. Make sure you add. And then now, like every first email we get, people are going to get introduced to my podcast. They're going to get introduced to my free Facebook community. And it's just like growing your network. It's growing your visibility. It's growing your numbers. Like who cares about engagement on Instagram? Like if you have a good email list and you have a podcast that's being listened to, or you have a YouTube that's being subscribed to, like who cares about your Instagram algorithm?
And that was actually a thing for me that I was struggling with, because on my personal page, I like to drop content and create reels to give network marketers value and tips and things like that. But I have a hard time of not going on if it's not in like iconic places. Like we'd go down to like Rodeo Drive and shoot content, go to the Beverly Hills Hotel and shoot content, do all these different places. So it looks like fun and exciting. And then I'm like, sit in my living room and do content. I'm like, wait a minute. But I need to just get out and do that. But at the same time, I've been so busy on the back end of the business that there's been really, it's hard to do those times to, to actually create the content to put out there. But that's where I need to focus on. So we're just in the process of hiring a little bit more, as we grow. So it's not a bad problem to have. It's just, again, we're all systemizing things at different levels. You have to start somewhere. I started with one funnel. We've got multiple funnels. I started with one assistant. I've got multiple, and you'll tend to grow. And I remember the first time I hired somebody, actually she's here. She's been with me now for well over a year full time. I couldn't afford to pay her more than 10 hours a week. And she was coming to my house 3 times a week for 3 hours, literally helping me post. At that time, we were doing like transformations on social media and 20, 30 accounts. I'm like, can you just do these postings and whatnot? It was very minimal. And I'm like, that's all I can really afford to pay you right now, but I know I need you in my life. So I'm going to keep on. And now she's full-time, and she's an account manager. Like she's running she's part of my system in my business. Incredible. And
yeah, but it's like none of that's going to happen if you're not taking these steps to maximize like this idea that it's like the same thing about like how people go, oh, you know, making money, like you can't save your way to wealth, just like you can't like in-person live event your way to like multiple seven figures. Like it just isn't going to happen. And it's like we've just reached a different time. And so why dig your heels so far in the dirt when there's such a better way and more easy way to do it? I remember like I made a post about this like today or yesterday. And it was like 4 years ago, I was literally Q4 was great on paper. And I was hustling for this like huge promotion in my network marketing business, but it felt horrible. Like I literally would, when I would train other teams on how I did it, my words were literally, I don't know where my kid was at the time. I hope he ate. And I'm like, I look back at that version of myself and I'm like, thank goodness that's not me. This year, I literally had a Q4 planning meeting this week with my team. And I'm like, here's everything we're doing. Here's everything that needs to be automated. I am my work year stops December 20th and I will not be working the rest of the month, but we have an entire sales campaign that will be running that entire time and I won't be involved. And it's like, that's because I did these steps. I automated my business. I implemented funnels. I got people on an email list. Like we are planning things ahead of like it just, everybody can be doing this. This is not just the business coaches and like the corporate companies of the world. Like we said, network marketers, affiliate marketers, influencers, you should have done this years ago. That you are the ones that should be leading the charge on this. And AK Social House can absolutely help with that.
And that's what we've been doing. And if you ask an upline, if it's duplicatable, if you look at any great influencer in your space, whatever company they're in, look in their bio, they have guaranteed they have a system. If you're wondering how they brought in 10, 20, 30 people, they weren't knocking on doors and it wasn't through wine and washes. If they're bringing in people from Australia, from New Zealand, they have a system in place. Do they want to talk about it? A lot of them don't because they think, oh, I've invested thousands of dollars into my business and it's not duplicatable. So I'm not going to tell the new girl who just spent $100 on her business in a box of what I did. And I think that's wrong. I think that if you want to be successful and you want to make that, you know, there's no cap on the amount of income you can make in the network marketing space, put yourself out there and invest in your business. You don't go and invest in a Starbucks franchise and just sit back and become a millionaire. You've invested hundreds of thousands of dollars or $1 million to get that franchise. You've got a business in a box. Network marketing is the cheapest upfront investment that you can ever do that can lead you to infinite amount of income. And if you implement it right and implement the right steps, you can sit back and you can leave your 9-to-5 job. You can have time with your kids. You can get the time freedom back. You can stop hustling and grinding and trying to book weekly Zoom calls and trying to do it here, there, and everywhere and pissing off all your friends and families with the next flash sale. Like enough already. And just, you know, create something for yourself and for your business and have it automated. And now you can just give yourself set times of what you can do for activities to fuel that system. And it's simple.
And I love that you say like we're priced for network marketers because y'all, if you've been, I'm not priced for network marketers. So like, sure, I got some good programs and they'll help you like, absolutely. But I'm not priced for network marketers. So like, if this is something that you're like, I want implemented, like go have a call with Amber and her team because it's like, it's worth a conversation. It's the same advice somebody gave you once when you were starting your network marketing business. It's worth the conversation. So Amber, I adore you. I think you're just so smart and I love women that speak the same language as me.
So do I.
And I think we should absolutely probably do a series on all of this because it really is like, it's the game changer and it's all in the name of like men and women making more money online and being able to spend more time with their families and like actually have the time freedom that they preach about.
Yeah, absolutely. And I feel like we should do a whole nother episode on incorporate and automate.
Incorporate and automate. It's a maybe, you know what we should do? We should do a paid secret podcast on like Patreon or something like, and it's just the two of us like, oh my gosh, we need to talk offline, but everybody just wait. There may be another option. I mean, that should be the next thing that we do. That'll just be fun.
Subscribe. And it's like behind the scenes. And then you get really in, you know, to the digs. We got to get off the podcast and talk a little bit more.
I know. On that note, everybody, thank you for listening. And just so you know, we have all of the information that Amber just talked about in the show notes. If you got confused on anything, slide into my DMs at Danielle _ on the daily, slide into her, the AK Social House DMs. That link is in the bio. We are here for you and we love you, and have a beautiful day.